Good evening, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the replay where we try to make your day. I am your host, Jabril Rashad, and we here, man, getting ready to do another episode on the replay. And before we do any of that, let me bring my hitters to the stage. You know, I got my man, Daryl Alexander the Great, as well as Tim Action Jackson from Nebraska. We're in the house again, fellas. And before we get started, I need for everybody to go ahead and hit that subscribe, like, and share button and notification because we're still growing the channel. Good evening to you, brothers. How y'all doing this evening?
What up?
Blessed and great, my brother. Blessed and great.
Knocking this one out the
I
park.
hope y'all all right this evening, man.
Man, I'm knocking this show out the park tonight. We definitely getting banned tonight.
Ready, huh?
We getting banned tonight. That's my goal.
We getting banned tonight, man. Well, listen, we got a lot to cover, so we might as well get into this thing, real quick, man. I don't even hardly know.
Mama, come get me. I don't want to die.
I'm gonna hold off on that right there. We're gonna go to these tonight, was the WNBA draft. The WNBA draft from the women's side. And I think many of us already knew who was gonna go one. So we'll talk about that.
WNBA draft.
Get into the video.
The Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Any surprises, guys? Did y'all have any surprises that Caitlin Clark would be the first person taken in the WNBA draft this year? I'll start with you, TJ.
No, wasn't no surprise. Wasn't no surprise until the fifth pick, and we'll get a bit later. So everybody that was supposed to go, and the man was supposed to go.
What about you, DA?
Yeah,
Any surprise?
No surprise at all. She's she's box office. Like she's gonna bring them bread to whoever drafted her. So it was going whoever had the first pick, no matter what they needed, they were gonna draft her.
Right on. Well,
that's just money.
True.
Yeah, money in the bank. Yeah, money in the bank. I think they need that backcourt shooting anyway. We know Brink was second overall out of Stanford, but then the third pick was kind of surprising, but then it wasn't surprising. But we know you got
the Chicago Sky select Angel Reese.
Actually, that was Angel Reese going number 7 overall. I wanted to show her as well.
Yeah, we just skipped ahead 5 picks. We all good.
Well, there it is, Angel Reese, the seventh.
She was the second most important person in the draft.
A champion at LSU a season ago.
Right.
Double-double.
Notoriety.
Head coach Kim Mulkey here to celebrate at 34 double-doubles last season, the most in a single season in D1 history, an All-American, an SEC Player of the Year.
Angel Reese goes number 7 overall to the Chicago Sky. But what I wanted to show was also Camila Cordova, which I was surprised that they would pick Angel Reese for pairing both of them. She went number 3 overall to Chicago Sky as well. But man, to grab Angel Reese and that front line, man, they got a front line for the future if they both can, stay healthy, man, and really get it, transition into the WNBA level, which I think that they will. But coming to you, ODA, on this, man, what you think this does for us? Someone like Chicago Sky and they front line, grabbing both Camila Cordova, out of South Carolina and Angel Reese out of LSU.
Yeah, it was. They would. I heard talks about that this weekend. Over the weekend, that might possibly happen. So it didn't really surprise me. People were saying that they could possibly get both of them. That's I don't know what their attendance was before, but it's gonna be just as many eyes on them as Indiana. Is that who drafted Caitlin? It'll be just as many. It won't be. It might not be quite as many. But it'll be our eyes will be on them for sure. So they'll get a boost in sales and attendance, and they'll be box office as well, but not like Kate.
What you think about that though, TJ? That front line for Chicago Sky.
That's interesting. Actually, they had kind of the Wings and the Chicago Sky have been trading players back and forth. Chicago Sky got a player that was on the Wings team last year, but she was injured. I think her name is Jackson, but she was injured the whole year. No, Diamond Shields. Diamond Shields was on, but she never did play because she was injured last year. And then they got Mabry in a trade earlier. I mean, the year before, so she played the whole season. Mabry's a good guard. Now they got those two. They should have a pretty good team if their team is healthy. But it depends on them. You know, Chicago was a good team about a few years ago, and then they kind of got heavy in contracts and had to trade all their players and do all that stuff. So now they're coming back and they got both of them. That's good because they needed that in the low post. So that's a good thing for their front line. They needed that in the front line.
Yeah, man, they got.
I got something to say with the Wings on that later.
Yeah, I was surprised they took Angel Reese, but like I say, for the future, man, that was a big time pickup for them. So we'll see exactly what they do. But then let's get into the Dallas Wings. Let's bring on up, man. This is what the Dallas Wings did with the 5th overall pick in this evening's draft.
WNBA draft, the Dallas Wings select J.C. Sheldon, Ohio State University.
Well, there you go. J.C. Sheldon had so much success at Ohio State. Of course, last year, a deep tournament run. Talked about the three-point shooting, Drea. You talked about the need for a bigger guard, Rebecca. And J.C. Sheldon goes to a Dallas team that has so many pieces in place to be a contender. And with J.C., they get something that maybe they didn't have and something that they really need.
I mean, this is a veteran, played her entire 5-season career at Ohio State. She's a bucket, 2,026 career points, 6th most in Ohio State history. But for me, it's also her speed, the energy that she plays with and that she brings to the court. It's relentless. She gets out in transition. She can push the pace. She finds her teammates. And yes, she can knock down shots.
She certainly fits the bill for a big guard who can be defensive-minded. She has a high motor, plays with energy on both ends of the floor, has nice driving ability, puts pressure at the rim, really good in ball screens as well.
Well, it seemed like Dallas Mavericks. I'm about to say Dallas Mavericks. We'll talk about them in a minute. But the Dallas Wing seemed like they definitely picked up a much needed guard, man, at that position because they got Olo Conde out of Notre Dame. She's still a bucket getter herself. But what I like about this pick here, man, is she's a 5th-year senior, so she'll come in with with a little bit of age on her. A little bit more seasoned player, man. And she had a phenomenal career, decided to stay, 5 years. Could have came out last year, but I'm glad that the Dallas Wings decided to get them another guard, man, to help with the scoring. They got a lot of pieces with the Dallas Wings, and I think they're going to be very formidable this season that's coming up. What you think, though, DA?
I would have rather they got Aaliyah Edwards, but, it wasn't meant to be. And it wasn't a bad pick, but it wouldn't have been my first pick. I would have taken Aaliyah Edwards.
Don't sound so melancholy.
Just saying.
Okay.
You sound so melancholy. It wouldn't have been my pick, but
there's a reason why though.
Think, TJ?
There's the reason. Let me get into it a little bit. The reason why is because they got Natasha Howard, who averaged 17 points and 8 rebounds for them last year. That's the reason why she's saying she played the same position, so she would have been a luxury. And so the Wings have decided that they want to get players that they needed now instead of just getting the best player, or if it was somewhere close, is what they said. So they said that's what their goal was, and they was looking at both players. They were trying to get both, but everybody was going to pick up. They was going to pick her up, J.C. Sheldon. They was going to pick her up before she could get her the second pick they had, and so they had to get her first because they wanted her more. They felt like they needed her more than they needed Aaliyah Edwards, and so that's why they went ahead and picked her. But everybody else was thinking about her getting Aaliyah. I remember I talked about it in one of the last shows about them picking up Aaliyah Edwards. He was thinking about it strongly, but I also knew they wanted JC real bad as well. And if you look at their guards, their other guard besides your girl Arika, they all defensive players who can't shoot. So she's a good defensive player, but she can shoot and she can drive the basket and make plays as well. So with two guards like that, if she can come in and is ready to play, she got an opportunity to start right from the top and really mean something. Plus, Sabley is hurt, and they hoping that that girl Maddie Seagrass from last year starts to pick it up. But when they get together, they got a front court. They got 3, 6, 7 people at center, and then they got Natasha Howard and Sydney can play both power forward and small forward. So they loaded. They may have a good chance to unseat Atlanta. I mean, not Atlanta, but Las Vegas. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly hoping that they, that backcourt do gel, because I remember when we had what's my girl from Notre Dame? They wound up trading her high pick, man. Name is not coming registering right now, but we wound up trading her. We had another guard we traded to the LA Sparks, man, several years back, and I thought that was going to be the backcourt for the future, but it didn't pan out. So I'm hoping that JC come in, man, and can solidify what the Dallas Wings been missing for quite some time. Because, like you said, Tim, they do have some big front pieces, man, and Howard and them and so forth. But for some odd reason, they just been missing one or two pieces, man. And I don't know who they actually drafted after JC, but I'm hoping they do get somebody, man, to continue to build that front line, or maybe get a wing player, man, and have that perimeter defense who can play both ends of the court like she can.
Well, the girls they drafted, they got too many players, so they drafted a girl that can play, but she's young. She played for France, so they thinking she'll stay over another year. She's only like 19, 20 years old, so I think she'll stay over another year. She's for the future, just like that center they got that actually didn't even play last year. She was redshirted, Stephanie Soares, who's 6'6" and could play, but she was injured with her knee injury last year, so she redshirted last year. So they got some depth on their team. They got some real good depth. So it's going to be a fun year for the Wings.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am, because I don't know if y'all have ever been to any Dallas Wings game, man, but I've enjoyed the ones that I've gone to. I've only been to maybe a couple, but the ones I went to, man, they really, really be out there, man. I mean, playing until the fourth quarter ends. I mean, you get your money's worth. So I'm hoping that this year will definitely be different, man. We can finally bring home a championship, man, under the WNBA, the Women's Basketball League. That'll be really, really something, man, if we can actually pull it off. I really believe that. Yeah. So look here, what we're gonna do now, because we're moving kind of fast with a lot of stuff we got to get through, man. We're gonna go ahead and segue to one of the things I wanted to share and share this with you all, as well as talk about this particular issue that's been coming up. Is really relating to our guy, man, CD Lamb. CD Lamb does not have his extension. We know that it's early. Don't get me wrong, but the way things are kind of shaping up, so I put up here CD Lamb gone. I just put CD Lamb gone. I don't know this year, maybe if Jerry gonna he got 3 guys, him doling out that kind of money. He already have Dak Prescott on a 1-year lease deal, I guess, and looking probably going into the draft next year. Hopefully we can get a Shador signing, but that's still yet to remain to be seen. But after the signing of this guy right here,
for $75 million with $51 million guaranteed, Smith is the 5th receiver in the league to earn more than $25 million per year. As we say hello to our NFL insider, that's Adam Schefter. And Shefty, I know you broke the story about Devontae Smith's extension. There's another wide receiver, though, in the NFC East with questions about his contract. That would be CeeDee Lamb. What's the latest you're hearing?
Well, the Cowboys have the start of their voluntary offseason program today, Shay, and CeeDee Lamb is not expected to take part in their offseason program until and if and when he gets the new contract that he's seeking. Now, he's headed into the 5th-year option on his contract. It's scheduled to pay him just south of $17.2 million, but CeeDee Lamb is not expected to be there. We are now in the offseason of wide receiver deals, where we saw Devontae Smith get paid today in Philadelphia. Justin Jefferson wants a new deal. Jamar Chase wants a new deal. Jalen Waddle wants a new deal. CeeDee Lamb wants a new deal. There are going to be some big wide receiver deals this upcoming offseason, and the Dallas Cowboys may not see CeeDee Lamb again until he gets his. And again, this is something the Cowboys have been prepared for, planned for. They know they have to pay him. They want to pay him. But the two sides right now are not close to getting a long-term deal done. And while they're not, CeeDee Lamb will stay away.
Okay, TJ, I'm going to come to you first on this one, man, because that's a lot to unpack. When you think about all these receivers looking for these deals, you got the Waddles, you got, like he said, Jamar Chase looking for a new deal, Justin Jefferson and I thought Justin Jefferson had just got an extension about a year ago. Maybe I was wrong on that. However, CeeDee Lamb is looking for a new deal. And I don't know what they did with Brandon Ayuk, DA, but you'll chime in after TJ. But, man, I don't know. What do y'all think? If we can't get this done this year, and let's just say Jerry is looking toward the future, maybe future quarterback, maybe another wide receiver. I told y'all Rice might be someone they have their eyes on for the future. I'm not talking about right now, but down the road, if this guy they decide to franchise tag him or whatever the case may be, I wonder if he's going to get his money. So that's why I said on the brand roll here, you can see why I say is CD Lamb gone? Is he gone? So I come to you first on that, TJ. What you think though, man?
I like that title. Is he gone? I know he's not gone. He actually said he gonna get a deal done. That's what he felt. But that's feeling though. That's totally different from negotiation, right? What I feel and what I think, which is totally from what's going to happen, I believe they're going to do it after June the 2nd. So guys like to do a lot of things after June the 2nd. They'll have more cap room and some other things to come and change and stuff like that. So they're going to make some deals and do some more stuff after June the 2nd. They're going to have the draft, going to figure out some stuff, and they're going to make some decisions on what they want to do after June 2nd deadline when everything kind of changes, which is a whole new free agency, whole new deals, and all that stuff get done. Dallas, to me, that's how they think a lot of times. I'm just going by how their history is being. Doing after June the 2nd. They do deals at the last minute before training camp. That's the other deal. You know, when they really want to get a deal done, they like to wait to the last minute, press it up to the last minute and make that deal happen at the last minute. So it doesn't surprise me nothing that they ain't doing nothing early. They don't like to do nothing early.
What you think, DA? You think he gone? You think we might switch? We might grab Ayuk, switch out with y'all. What you think? No, I don't want Ayuk.
No, I don't think so, man. Ayuk want his career to go upward direction, so there's no way he go to the Cowboys.
Hey man,
if CD Lamb, man, y'all be killing careers down here, man. Big D. If
well, he's a Pro Bowl last time I checked.
At what point are they gonna be the trendsetters? What point are y'all gonna be the trendsetter? Like, what point are y'all gonna step out there and be the one that say, "Hey, we're gonna go and pay this," you know, instead of letting the market get set on you, you know, because by the time they get ready to sign him, it's gonna be 3 or 4 other receivers done get signed. Now they gotta either pay him more or he ain't gonna be there. So you know,
that's right. Okay, but let me put it like this. Because we got I think my man Anderson that signed a real big, or Turner, one of them, that signed a real big contract defensive end, and you got to still pay Michael Parsons. Now you got a guy like a Deron Bland. I know he got a little ways to go, but these contracts is coming up, and they coming up pretty fast, man. So I'm just saying.
What you
saying? I wonder if they're gonna start allocating that money toward maybe towards the defense, because he went and got Mike Zimmer, as opposed to the offense. I'm just saying, if you can go get somebody like a Shedeur Sanders, and you don't have to pay him for the rookie contract, maybe you do get the money to CD, but somebody's going to be gone. I mean, I'm just sorry to say, I think somebody's going to be gone, DA.
It sounds like you want it to be Dak.
Well, a lot of the contracts.
Hold on, Tim. Let him
finish. Go ahead, Tim. It sounds like Jabril wants it to be Dak. Jabril don't want them to pay Dak. He wants Dak out of here so they can get Shedeur, and he can pay everybody else if he let Dak go. That's what it sounds like.
DJ, help him out, man. That's why I want to come to you after he finished, because I want you to. Hey, man, listen, man. I don't have nothing personal against Dak. I just seen enough of Dak. That's all. And if I can just go get me a Shedeur Sanders, man, and I'll go with that. I just would. But we still have the one what's the quarterback? Trey Lance, yeah, we still have Lance on. You know, I don't know what they probably wind up doing, but right now he's a solid backup. What you say though, TJ? You've been down this road, man. So what you got to say?
Yeah. With Trey Lance, first of all, I'll hit Trey Lance and I'll come back to Dak and the contracts. Trey Lance, they need to see him. So they've seen him in practice, they like it. Okay, that's why they kind of moving forward like they do. They like some things they've seen in Trey Lance, but they want to see more. They want to see him in front of the gun to make their decision. Also, they're going to make a decision. I'm not sure exactly what decision they make. We won't know until after June the 2nd. After June the 2nd, you'll hear what they really want to do with Dak. Either going to let him play out and see what he got this year and see if he can carry the team as far as Dak, the team goes as far as Dak goes. That's how Jerry Jones said it, right? So either he's going to do that or he's going to go ahead and give Dak a contract. And like you said, Johnny come late. If he doesn't give Dak the contract, there's a number of different contracts that actually are up at the end of the season. they will have a whole lot of room at the end of the season after the season ends because a lot of their contracts are gonna be up. So then they gotta either retool or get some free agents or do some things they didn't do before, and they must have a plan for it. But I don't know for sure what their plan is because they're not showing their hand yet. They still playing the poker game, and we won't know until after June what their true hand is. After that, all the speculation will get bigger because then everything's gonna hit the fan if they don't sign some of these people yet. But I think they're gonna sign. They're gonna sign the 88. That's
Okay,
what I think.
Okay, they're gonna. Yeah, yeah. I feel like you feel though, but I just feel like somebody's gone after this year, man. I just don't think you can go. Even if you won another, if you finish 12-5 like they did last year, I just don't. And then you get bounced out again in the first round of the playoff. I just don't see them still sticking with that nucleus and paying that kind of money out. So somebody's gonna be gone, and I think the odd man right now is Dak Prescott because Dion has such close ties to Texas, as we all know. He still have one of his homes here. Sons were raised here, and he know Jerry. And I think if it's any type of maneuvering that that they gonna do, it's gonna be at the quarterback position. That's the only reason why I don't see, Dak getting his money, and they're gonna have Trey Lance as a security blanket. Now that's just my take on it, it's my feel on it, but I do think eventually CD will get his money. I do think he'll get his money as well as Michael Parsons. Because that contract, he gonna break the bank when he does sign his deal, because that contract that the other guy received, man, that was a very large contract. So I don't know though, TJ. But let me ask y'all this. Let me look at it like this. Let's just say if any one of them was franchise tag, let's say CD was franchise tag. Is there any of them out there that you would say who may receive the franchise tag that you were swapping for? Would you swap him for Waddle? Would you swap him for just Chase? Justin? Well, I don't think Minnesota would definitely want to let Justin Jefferson go. But what if something like that were to occur? What do you think?
I don't think any of it
88.
works.
I'm good.
Yeah. I don't think.
Let me keep 88. I'm good with
I
that.
think your best bet is what you were saying, Jabril. Like, let Dak go on about his business and bring you somebody in here who's going to give you some stability in crunch time. Like, you don't need to be wondering when he's going to crack, because from now on, everybody's just waiting. Everybody waits. Fans wait, other teams, fans watching, and I think most of the people know now he's gonna crack at some time when it's crunch and he's definitely needed. Those eyes gonna get big and he's gonna crack, and there's nothing nobody can do about it. So I think y'all should feel with me. I move on from it. I'd say, man, look, we go in a different direction. We may not be 12-5, we're gonna be 10-7, but we're gonna get to the NFC Championship at least. That's my opinion.
Well, to me, if they're gonna do something, check this out. Check this out. If they really wanted to get rid of Dak and they really not, why even wait this year? Why don't you trade him at the deadline? I mean, at the draft. Trade him at the draft. Get something from him at the draft, and then move on. That way, if you don't win, you get a better pick next year, right? So you already started because you get him, man. You gonna have a good record. He can play in the regular season. He's gonna do well in the regular season. He's gonna have an MVP like season, right? If he's healthy and he don't get them linemen show up, right? He gonna have an MVP like season with the players they have. He's gonna do okay. And then because he got a tight end, he got 2 wide receivers, he got a back, they got 4 receivers, they got enough people to play. So they're gonna have a good season. But if he didn't finish in the playoff, and you really believe he ain't gonna finish the playoff, why don't you do it at the draft? Change then.
They don't have the stones like that. They don't move like that.
Well, I hear. No,
I believe that I would trade it.
Well, I understand what you're saying, right? And that would be, probably something to really examine and look at. But Jerry, I'll put it like this, because DA is saying they don't have the stones to do it. And I think I'll just put it like this. I don't think he want to do it because he's just one of those wildcatters, those risk takers. Because at the same time, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's kind of like I go into this season with still a little bit of hope that I can probably get back into that position of maybe winning the NFC East first, because you first want to win your division and hopefully get into the playoff. And I could do that with Dak Prescott. Now, can I have a little bit of luck? Which I don't think you can get any more lucky than last year
That was it.
when you get in it. You know what I
That was
mean?
it.
And you had 2 playoff games
That
that you
was
could
it.
have played at home. So I kind of lean towards Tim too in referencing, if you're gonna pull the string, if that's what you're thinking, Jerry, Steven, if that's you all's vision, man, go on and just cut your loss and see what you're gonna do with trade. I understand that there's a chance that there's no guarantee that you'll get a Shador. I think this year's draft is a little bit deeper quarterbacks, but you don't have the room and the capital to try to move up and take any quarterback this year. So now you're stuck with what's coming out next year. And I haven't looked at the 2025 NFL draft class of quarterbacks next year, but Shador got to be up there. And I figure maybe, I don't know what Gabriel will be ranked coming out of Oregon. He transferred from Oklahoma, went to Oregon. And I know it's a couple I'm not thinking of right now, TJ, but I'm kind of leaning towards that way, man. Like, I think the Cowboys fans would rather go ahead and see, make it play out the way it's going to play out. Quit all this false sense of hope, getting us there, and then everything just collapses because we didn't have the right pieces in place. You guys went, like on the defense side of the ball, you guys went 17 games using a safety as a linebacker. Where they do that at? You really was, blessed to even pull that off. Because when you look at the San Francisco 49ers defense, they had the Fred Warners. You know what I mean? They had the solid linebackers, the Green Laws and so forth across the board. But we sitting there trying to mix and mingle, man, and come up with something grand when you should have been cutting your losses, man, probably doing training camp. The minute that young fella Overstreet blew his ACL out in preseason, I would have been on the phone trying to look for a solid linebacker, man. Period. So, I don't know, TJ, what you got to say on it, man?
Man, you just hit all the pockets on there. You playing pool, you hitting the 8 ball and everything in the pocket, 9 ball, everything. So yeah, you hit everything right on the pocket. What I'm saying is that more than anything else, they need to make decisions and be firm on it. The key is we don't really know what decision they're making, and more than likely they ain't making them until June. And if they want to get rid of Dak, they should get rid of him so Trey Lance have a whole season. He would have a whole season to figure out who he is. Then we have to wonder. We say, okay, they need a quarterback, because then they wouldn't win that much if he ain't no good. Then you have a low pick, and then you can get the quarterback you want, right? Then if he is so good, then bam, you got your quarterback, and you just move on. You get other pieces that'll actually make him better. But hey, if you're gonna, we gonna more than likely what I feel gonna happen is that they gonna give us a contract. We're going to stay with Dak, and we're going to be going 12 and something. It's going to be up and down during the season. We're going to see some stuff, and then we're going to figure out, what they're going to do in the playoffs, and we'll find out in the playoffs, because we ain't find out in the regular season who Dak
right
is.
Now,
Dak started that game off terrible. He started that game off in the playoffs terrible, and that's the reason why. He picked it up later on and played really well, but it wasn't significant time. Everything was out of it was a blowout then. And he started playing well. He's done it many times in his career. When he actually calmed down, he found his peace, and all of a sudden he settled in, and now he's throwing on the dime. He was off target and everything at the beginning of the game. Drilling was off.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me ask y'all a question, because we're talking about Dak Prescott, and we understand that it takes more. It's a team. That's why they say football is the ultimate team sport. We know that it takes more than just a Dak Prescott. So we understand that. That's not what we're saying, that we're putting it all on Dak Prescott. What we're saying, because Dallas, to me, when we're talking about cutting losses, Dallas, for me, haven't really fulfilled those spots. Of course, we got the draft coming up, but if you're talking about taking a center with that 21st pick or whatever the pick is, he still don't have NFL reps. You see what I'm saying? You hope that he come in like a Travis Frederick and be that center that you need, right? And that center he's like the free safety, man, on the back of the defense, or the middle linebacker, because he's sitting there coordinating that whole line. So he got to be a really whoever you draft for free agency or whatever you decide to do at that center position, you got to make sure he's a very acute, stout, thinking individual, man. And I'm hoping that they got to address that, as well as the left tackle position, which probably not be as hard to it, because you got Tyler Smith. I understand you can kick him out there to the left tackle position, but you're still talking about depth. But then you're talking about the running back position, which is another sore eye. They're talking about, could there be a reunion with Ezekiel Elliott? Him knowing the system, being in the locker room, at one time, and all of that. You still got Deuce Vaughn and Dodo and them and so forth. So I'm saying they got other, positions that they need to fill And it seemed like the Washington Commanders trying to make some moves, the Philadelphia Eagles as usual trying to make their moves. And I just don't know if you go into 2024 season, man, hanging your hat on a if and a maybe. And I will concur with Tim. If you're gonna do that, go ahead and cut your losses. Throw Trey Lance in there. Don't deal about that big old payment you have to pay Dak. Go and give CD his money, and let's try to make a move for Shador Sanders, because I really believe, man, if Dion talking the way he's talking about Shador, like he ain't just gonna let him go anywhere. I think backdoor deals get done all the time, and we can go get Shador Sanders, man. But what you think though, TJ?
Well, actually, I really feel good about that deal. I feel like if that needed to happen, he would make sure it happened. Both of them would make sure it happened. So I think it'd happen with no problem. People gonna whine and cry about it in the media when it does happen, but it could happen no problem at all, because all he do is say, hey, I'm gonna do this with my son or whatever. He ain't gonna play for you, blah blah blah. He got enough money, so on and so on. And so that would put a damper on a lot of people. Is it worth it anyway? And that's the whole point.
Well, DA, jump in here, man. What do you think, man? Is that the best scenario, man? Go ahead and cut your loss and put Trey Lance in there, man.
Yeah,
and I want you to look at it from an outside San Francisco 49ers.
I always do. That's the only way I can look at it. I'm outside. Yeah, I've been saying it. Yeah, I would put Trey. I would let Trey take that quarterback position. Let's just let him go play. It can't be any worse. It ain't like you went to the Super Bowl and now you're trying to put Trey in there. No, you had the worst blow up. Like you say, it was a perfect situation, and the worst thing that could have possibly happened. So just go with it, man. Put Trey Lance in there, but they ain't got those stones to make no moves like that. But that's what you do. You can't keep looking at this like these are your kids. This is a business, man. They just sometimes don't handle it like that. It's a business.
Yeah, it is a business. You're right, DA. It is definitely a business, man, and you got to cut your losses. I mean, it's just a point now, like Cowboy Nation, man. We like, hey, man, look, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, and I just can't see paying this guy, $40, $50 million a year, bro. And we ain't even been to the NFC Championship. And
well,
I'm sorry, man.
He's definitely gonna get it. So get ready. He's definitely gonna get that or more.
And you have people, and you have individuals. Hold on, Tim. But you have individuals that will sit and say, well, it ain't just on Dak. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I don't buy it. Listen, man. You can control a narrative just playing the quarterback position and not making keeping the momentum going. Because when he threw the pick against the guy with Green Bay, picked him off, that's still a momentum change. Don't get me wrong, defense definitely is responsible for a lot of things that transpired on that day. But I'm saying, can you get into a shootout, get him do something? Because you could have gotten to a shootout. So it's a lot of things. I don't know, man. If it walks like a duck, sound like a duck, man, it's a duck, man. I done seen it far too many times. And I just think that right now, man, you just got to cut your losses and build toward the future.
And that's the Jabril I know.
But what if the duck is a swan? What if the duck turns into a swan? All this time it turned into a swan at the last minute. It was 12 o'clock and it was Cinderella, and all of a sudden, bam! It all of a sudden changed. That's what Jerry Jones
last year.
He's thinking that he's going to turn into a swan.
That was last year.
See, that's spoken like a true Cowboy fan. If somebody who actually tried out and played with him, say, man,
that's not me, but that's what I think Jerry Jones.
I'm not that emotionally attached. I'm like DA said, man. When you see the ship going down, you better do something. You better call for a life raft or something. But like I said, man, I just can't see myself personally. I can't see giving this guy $50 million. I said it back then when he wanted. And this was when Russell Wilson was at his peak still with the Seattle Seahawks. He wanted Russell Wilson money. Russell Wilson, at least at the time, with the 2 Super Bowls. So I just can't. I can't see really giving a whole lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that kind of money. And I'm not mad if he got the money, because Kirk Cousins, I don't know what kind of evidence do we have on the NFL? Because ain't no way in the world I'm giving Kirk Cousins me tata. You know what I mean?
Forget Kirk Cousins. Daniel Jones is all you need to know. Forget Kirk Cousins.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they chose Daniel Jones. Yeah, they chose Daniel Jones over
one decent season. One decent season. He sucked every other year. He was the worst quarterback almost in the league every year, and he did decent one time, and that's all they needed to give him give him everything they had.
Decent.
It just shows you how the system works.
Hey, let me give a quick shout out, man, to my kid folk. He's joining us, man. This is Shamar Jacob, man. He stated that you can make a mistake a duck from a swan. Comment on what TJ said. He said you can this the other Tim. They go by Shamar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
good.
he tell you can make a mistake calling a duck a swan. That's true. That's absolutely true, man. I can't call no. Look, whether it's a duck or a swan or a seagull, I'm tired of it.
It's a
I'm
black
tired
duck.
of like I was tired of just like I was tired of our left tackle, man, that went to the New York Jets. Smith. He ain't been gone that long. I almost forgot his name anyway. I only Tyron Smith. Bye-bye, man. Like DA just said, I'm looking here. This is a business. I'm not gonna be emotionally attached anymore, man. You can't do it. It's like this song. What's that song? What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me? Hey, man, I can't do it anymore, man. There's too many teams, man, that went by the Cowboys and at least played for an NFC championship. I mean, when you go back and look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, they was there a few years back. The Rams don't want to. Come on, man. I've seen enough, man. I've seen enough. So I cut my losses. I go with Trey Lance, man. And let the chips fall where they may. Go in there, give CD his money, give Michael Parsons his money. Go in there, pick up a couple of free agents, and then just try to do good in the draft. One thing I think we can hang our hats on, TJ, is Will McClay and them, and they've done a very, very good job of selecting, draft picks. So I'm hoping that they'll go in and do the same thing, man. I really do.
Yeah, and they got some players from last year that actually should be picking up. Go ahead.
Yeah, you say put Trey in. Well, listen, guys. Hey, we got the draft coming up. Like I said, we did the pre-NFL mock draft, man, and we'll see what we're gonna be, man. We're gonna try to see if we can't hold D8 to that NFL draft party, man. He said he don't really get into it a whole lot, but I don't know. He might change his mind, man, this year based on some of the moves that San Francisco look to be making, because I don't know if they're gonna keep Brandon Ayuk at least.
Man, give us the last pick. We'll be fine. We show you what we do with we take the last pick and get to the Super Bowl.
I already told you y'all trying to steal Detroit, and I can have this pop up. They trying to steal Detroit line tight end, man. I said, they're gonna try to put it real quiet too.
Yeah.
I say they're gonna put real hush. I said, look at San Francisco trying to steal Detroit.
That's right.
That's right. And he wind up signing.
And they already got Kittle.
Good. And they still got Kittle, but I guess the way they want to run their offense, man.
Yeah, Kittle who disappeared in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that same Kittle.
The same Kittle. Well, I don't know, man. I think y'all gonna probably try to draft a free safety because I think Tayshaun may not be back. I'm not for sure if he decides to retire. So I think y'all gonna be looking on the defensive side of the ball. But we shall see. We shall see. But listen, let's transition real quick, man, because I got to bring this up regarding staying within the college ranks now, because some things that was talked about, and we didn't get a chance to touch on this a couple of weeks ago when Warren Sapp was elevated, man, to GA. And if those of y'all who don't know what GA is, it means graduate assistant, because he's not technically the defensive line coach, wink, wink, but we know he's the line coach. They gave him some kind of GA/senior analyst, Tim, if you know what that means. But this is what I think.
Yeah, special.
They were saying certain things about, was he the right hire? Should Deion have brought him on? And I just simply said, you know what? I think with Warren Sapp, you're gonna wind up getting what I call prime Sapp. I think you're gonna get prime Sapp, man, because this is what he's gonna bring to the table, TJ.
What you doing with that right hand? What you doing with that right hand? Put it underneath my elbow and lift up. I'm here. You got me trapped. I'm gonna use this. They work too. This hand works too, right? See, when I'm turning my hips, I want the ear and the thing. Now, if he catches me here, I'm doing this. Take them off. Use both of them. These are both levels. These are both hands. Come on. Throw it in there. Let me see you do it. Come on, cross. Use that other hand. Don't be out here driving the car with it while you ripping. Put it on in there and help you. You don't have man. You only got one hand. You got two. Come over here. I got two. 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 Use them both. Come on. Come on. Use them both. Can't happen. You hear me? That can't happen. Up the field 3 yards. Look at this. If you up 3 yards, it's dead as a doorknob. See you still peeking and looking. Come on up the field. Come on up the field. Make him go inside you. And then you push back right there, and that what got you. Hey, that's some fast some bitches in the back, you know. Hey, so we got to use leverage and penetration. Penetration kills all timing of the defense. See that? You stop. See, I don't want no feet stop. See that? No feet stop. Keep them tight riders going up the field, up the field. Look at Jared. Look at the three technique. Watch Jared. Watch him. Watch him. See him? See him in the back though? See him still going? See that penetration? See that back? See it in his face? He got to turn right now, and he's turning to you. So you be up the field where Jared is 3 yards. Where's he got to go? He got to go back in. Back inside where our linebacker is sitting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. So DA, I'm gonna come to you because I don't know if DA, I don't know if you was that much moved when they first hired him. Or am I wrong? You can correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you didn't really think that was the best hire for Dion at the time.
And remember, I came back and said, I've been listening to Warren Sapp talk, and I had to apologize and eat my words. I was like, hey, man, I'm listening to this talk. He's a very intelligent person. So, you just think, you listen to his diction, or his accent, and you think, man, this dude ain't that smart. He's just rah, rah, rah. But I listened to him on some other things, and that brother's smart. So he can get on that level where he can coach him hard. He was doing some coaching right there, a lot of coaching.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't the kind of coaching that's gonna, get you offended. You're not gonna be annoyed by it. It's his delivery. Yeah. His delivery is perfect, man. So I changed my mind. I went 180 on that. I think he's gonna be.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. TJ, come on to you, man.
Now Dion, on the other hand, can't coach, but that's another story.
Well, TJ, come on, man. We're gonna come on, man. Quit that, man. We're gonna do that. TJ, what you think, man? Hi, Warren Sapp, man. Good pickup, but not a good pickup. What you think about Big Warren Sapp, man?
No, it's a great pickup because of these reasons. A lot of times people don't realize when guys learn, it's the little things that actually matter. It's the little tricks of the trade. There's so many different tricks of the trade, which we talked about many times. I've told you about how you pull somebody when you actually run down the field with somebody. If they faster than you, and how you can run and then hit them on the thigh as a cornerback. He's talking about all the little tricks of the trade, and you hit their arm and you slow them down, right? And then you're on top of them, you pick the ball off. So it's so different ways as a lineman that you do different things. One is actually the movement of the hands, right? Which he's talking about, how you use both your hands. Where kids get caught, they learn about the rip, but they don't pay attention that you can do a counter move. They don't learn the counter moves to moves and stuff like that. Then they don't practice them, and then they don't think them in their head. And some guys don't have that ability where they think outside the box. You have to teach them each little step so they can become technical. So there's a technical part of this business, but there's some people who actually create new techniques, who actually can play on the move, and some people just do it and they can't teach it. Sapp, as you can see, he can teach it. So he knows well enough to teach it, not only just play it, but he can actually teach it as well too. So that's what makes him special. He knows how to teach what he actually learned and the things he's been creative about.
Where our queen here, our elder, Miss Peaches Alexander, she say, I like him. I like him. So I hear you, sis. If you like him, we like him. Absolutely. No, I mean, I think that was a great pickup for Colorado Buffaloes, man. Dion, and Warren Sapp, man, go way back. They both Florida boys. And when you look at him, Warren Sapp, you think he's just a big country boy out of Florida, man. But no, he knows some things. When it comes to that defensive line, he has that yellow jacket, man, to prove, his when he was playing in that league, man, he has that yellow jacket to prove that he was a stop player, just one average player. But when I look at his way of coaching, it's all about, we talk about this thing a lot, man, about being able to connect with the kids. And he had this connection because there was another video I could have showed where he's running around, jumping around, he's running off the field when they run off the field. And he's standing in the back of the end zone, him and Big George Heckman, they back, George Heckman that played offensive line guard for the Dallas Cowboys. He's up there too. And they're going kind of back and forth. He's telling him, hey, just don't talk about the defense, talk about everybody. We out here for all the kids. But Prime Sapp is down up by Dion, and he back there like, we ain't trying to let him get in. Every play is a daddy, and he walking up and he's in their face and he's having fun like he's a big kid. Because in a lot of ways you can see that seeping through the jovialness that he loves and the passion he still have for the game. So to have an individual like that can coach your child, you got to buy between Dion. One thing I can say about Deion Sanders, what he's done for the University of Colorado, is he's brought in about at least altogether on his staff about 127 years of coaching experience. Now, you tell me what staff have that kind of staff in the country where your child can go in and get some of the best coaching, man, there is. You're talking about guys who've been there, who's done it, and they got Hall of Fame jackets to prove it. So when I sit back and I watch some of the stuff that I think Deion Sanders' son, Deion Jr. Bucky, man, he does a great job, man, in posting on his shout out to his media, man, Well Off Media. Does a good job, man, to bring that content out and seeing it firsthand, one-on-one, how these coaches are pouring into these young people, man. I just love it, man. I love it, man, because they're more than just coaching. They're teaching them, man. They're teaching them. They just brought in Steve Mariucci the other day, former San Francisco 49ers coach, as well as Detroit Lions, who's working for NFL Network, and brought him in to talk to him. And you have those kind of individuals, those kind of men available that'll come in and be able to talk to these students. I'm sorry, bro. It's like if I had a child right now that was looking to go, and I knew Colorado wanted him, oh man, we're gonna get him the first look, bro. Got to, because they're offering so more. If you don't succeed in that program, it's because you don't want to succeed. You don't want to succeed. I mean, you got everything right there. If Dion can just walk in a door and talk to a scout and get first-hand information, you know how important that is? Or just pick up the phone and say, hey, coach, I got a kid that y'all overlooking. Because what's the old adage that says it ain't what you know but who you know, right? So imagine you under the guise of an individual like a Dion who can pick the phone up because the kid just fell through the cracks. I mean, that's just amazing, man. And I just think these kids, those who are able to grasp it, can really benefit. And let's say you don't even make it to the NFL. I think the knowledge that you're going to get to be successful, whatever major that you're majoring in, to be successful off the field, I just think it's available. It's there. It's just a phenomenal opportunity, man, to go to Colorado University, man, and be a success story. Come out of there, man, with your degree and to be something in life that you want to do. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's there, man. It's crazy. But you say what though, DA?
Well, I ain't so gung ho about it as you are. I never have been. I don't think they.
You don't like crime, I know.
I don't think
they got your boy Big Anthony Williams say he's shouting you out, DA. He said, "What's going on, DA?"
Oh, what's up? What's up, Anthony?
Make sure you get it right now, because he's shouting you out. Right. I know he don't want to waste his time on what you about to say, though.
Say,
you all right, Prime? Come on, man, talk to me now.
Jabril, I don't know where all of this this testosterone is coming from that you putting out tonight, man. I don't think they did a good job coaching last year. I mean, they need to rethink this Pee Wee League Pop Warner way of coaching on that sideline during the game. Like, you got to do better. And I hope Warren Sapp don't fall in that trap of let's all six of us go yell at this one player because he missed his assignment. Nah, well, if he missed his assignment, something is wrong. Somebody ain't coaching him right. If he keeps missing his assignment, if it's just a mistake, you can live with it. So I'm just hoping Sapp don't fall into that Pee Wee League mentality coaching they had last year, because I wasn't impressed by it, to be honest. So I ain't as sold as you are on this.
But let me say this before we got to wrap it up right quick, though. One thing y'all heard me say all during the season: why is this coach, defensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, whatever his name, I know it was Kelly, is coaching
94-yard slant.
94-yard slant against Stanford. Take it to the house. He run the same coverage every time, and you don't put a man over him. You don't walk a man out. You don't walk a man out to at least get his man a bump while the corner's behind him. But guess what they did, though, DA? They got rid of him. You see what I'm saying? So that was prime first time, and they was in a lot of those games, a lot of close games, I feel. We all know Shedeur Sanders was the most sacked quarterback in the country. So he had to address those things. He always said, he didn't sugarcoat it, he always said in the trenches was going to be his issue. And I think he addressed those.
Well, I'm going to go with what Tim was saying about, we talked about coaching one night. And if Dion is going to be the bad guy, you got to have a good guy. You can't have 2 and 3 bad guys trying to coach. It ain't gonna work. You know, you got to have some. You know, if he's gonna be the one yelling and screaming, you got to have that other coach pull him to the side and say, "Hey, man, come, let's check this out. Next time, you know, you got to have that Starsky and Hutch. You know, that balance, and you can't have 4 or 5 bulldogs attacking one player. I don't think
I
that
got
works.
you, man. Man, we got to segue on this, man. I know man, we can talk about this all day long, but we got to segue, man, to the next segue because it's so important. We're gonna come to something that we both talked about briefly, Da, about Tiger Woods. You know, he shot one of the best rounds that he shot, man, in such a long time at the Masters, man, this past weekend, but yet still wasn't able. I don't know. You could probably explain a little bit more.
Yeah, I watched
Da.
I watched every day.
You watched it every day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well we're gonna talk about this, and we're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna talk about Tiger Hood in the wood, man. And he shot a great round of golf, man. But he still, I don't know, man. And then I just gotta show this right. Let me just be quiet and show the video, because when he take his hat off, man, this is what tells the tape for me right here. Okay, that was that was short. That was short. And when I say short, I really mean short, man. So I don't know. He looked kind of like Earl. We were talking about that earlier, man. I don't know, Da. Is it over with for Tiger in the hood woods, man? Come on, man. And we love Tiger. We love Tiger. We love Tiger. But we don't want him to be like Frank Sinatra when your voice all gone, or Frankie Beverly, man. Or Freddie Jackson, man. I don't know. We love him. We love him. We love him. But come on, man. Talk to me, Da.
Hey, man, I'm throwing all darts tonight. So get out the way if you get hit by one of these darts. I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm so disappointed in him. I don't even know what to do, because I know he should have by now, if he had just done the right things after a certain point. I mean, and we are human, so I'm not totally judging him, but he put himself at the top of the list. So I mean, let's talk about it. I'm disappointed that he didn't continue to do what he needed to do in order to at this point have nobody even talking about Jack Nicklaus is still the best golfer in the world. Tiger should have slammed him over 2-3 years ago. He should have bypassed all of those records, but he didn't do what he needed to do off the course, and that could be attributed to his old man passing. I think it had an effect on him. But one thing Jack Nicklaus always said about Tiger when he was young and doing what he was doing, Jack said, let's see what happens after he gets a family, because that puts a whole nother, dynamic on the golf game. He said he didn't say easy, but he was saying it's easier to be great as a single man, as a golfer. But when you get a family and then issues arise and then you got some stuff going on mentally, he said it affects you. And that's the true test. And Tiger didn't pass that test. Drinking and driving, taking drugs and driving, and accident, all of that affected, even the stuff with the wife. Like, personally, I think if he'd have got a sister, he'd been broke all the records 5 years ago. But I think, hey, that's a whole different show. But, yeah, man, I think he's washed up. I was telling somebody yesterday, he needs to go on and he's not old enough for the senior tour, but I was thinking that's what would probably get his confidence back, because just watching him, he doesn't know, he's a front runner. He doesn't know how. It's a whole different pressure, like being at the back of the pack and not making this shot, not making that shot. So,
but it's crazy, man. This man is only 48. And maybe he lived, because he started so young. I remember, he went on to the Johnny Carson show way back. He was young, 5 years old, man, when he started. So maybe this may be in dog years, I guess, because he's only 48. And you can see, like, I don't know how you get up in the morning, you 48, and you see your hair like that. That's number one. I'm like, come on, man. Really, Tiger? Come on, man.
Just shave it. Yeah, just shave
just shave it. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, he showed it.
you can. Well, my thing is, you might, it's like this old saying, Tim. You know, they say if you feel good, you play good. I mean, you look good, you feel good, you play good. You know what I mean? So my thing is, okay, I know we all go through, geriatrics. That's just a normal state. That's evolution. But I'm saying, man, when you look in the mirror, what's looking back at you? So you don't see this. So at least feel good about yourself. And I don't know how you can do that at 48, man. Because I know Jordan. I remember hearing this way back when Jordan started receding, getting his dad's hairline and all that. And people think that Jordan had, I decided Jordan was having a problem with that. They said Jordan was, man, he was losing his hair. And then he made up in his mind, said, you know what, I'm going to cut it off. Just cut it off. So it's just little things like that, man, that makes me say, does he really feel good, or he just going through the motion because he still has this passion for, for playing golf? But you say what though, Tim?
You guys nailed it on two parts. One part I'm gonna kind of go into a little bit more, but I'm gonna just regurgitate what you guys said. One, and put this: he lost his mentor. He doesn't have a mentor, so when he had those tough times, he'd have no one that actually really was a mentor. He had people he could converse with, but a true mentor or somebody he can really share in and go in that will actually keep you from doing stuff. It's different from the friendly one, like, hey, appease you and everything like that. From that one and say, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, and this is how you do it, overcome. Do not do this. Do not do this. See, that's that mentor I'm talking about. That's why I call it a mentor instead of just a friend, right? That mentor is gonna say, hey, don't do this because this was it's gonna lead to. You're gonna have that conversation. Because he didn't just spiral this one part, he kept spiraling, right? Until he got the car accident and then messed up his knee. So now we get to that part. We talking about what you're talking about before it looked good. You're talking about, he should embrace the Jordan. He should embrace the Jordan a long time ago. So that's one thing. Then the other part is this. To where he's at, he made me proud that with his bad knees, them knees are bad, that he actually made the cut in the first place. And then the second part, them knees showed up. Because when you see him doing his short game, which he always had the best short game there is. But when he had to dip, when it was better, when you need to dip them knees a little bit, bend them knees and actually get into the shot a little bit better, which makes the shot a little bit more accurate, he couldn't dip. So he's always over the shot and not be able to get into the shot to actually make it more accurate, because you can put your arms into it and get your shoulders and some other parts, your hips and stuff like that into the shot to make it more accurate. So he pop it up. So he kept being shot, long. He kept being short. All the things he used to doing, he couldn't keep up because his knees had got worn out. I think him walking all them days because they got to walk. If he could still ride the cart, right? Because they can't do it, they have to walk. If he could ride the cart, he'd been all right in the second round, right? He'd been all right because his knees wouldn't have been worn down. His knees are too bad for him to make it through 4 rounds.
That little power to close things out.
Go ahead, Tim. Finish what you saying.
Yeah, I was just saying that with his knees being so bad that he can't make it through 4 rounds because he has to walk, and you can see him limping more and more each round he went. And he and each time his shot started to be more off because he didn't have control. He could control his shot because he can't control his legs. When your legs go, no matter what sport you're in, you use your ability to actually be great. You become good, average, and so on and so on. You start to go down. When the legs go, you go.
Yeah. Well, it is almost I agree with DA, man. It is almost a travesty, man, that this guy, he would still go out as one of the greatest golfers to ever do it. I definitely agree that he should have broke this record, man, years ago. But the undisciplined part of his game was off the golf course, that he could not control certain things. I hate to say could not control. He chose not to control. Let me put it like that. And it caught up with him, and his body just broke down on him at a young age. Because at 48, man, I mean, he should still be winning tournaments, man. So whatever happens, go. That's from this point on. We wish him nothing but the best. I really do. I'm having a little fun with it a little bit because I'm just saying, man, I don't know how you get up and look in the mirror and think this is it. I just think people just need to be real. They say in all thy truth, be true to thyself. And that's across the board. Man, I'm not gonna get up here and fake it and shake it. If it is what it is, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And if I gotta make the necessary adjustments, man, to protect my own personal brand, that's just what I'll do. So again, man, I hope him. I wish him nothing but the best, man. I hope that maybe he give us one more like he did a few years ago when he actually won the Masters. They counted him out then. But he done been through a lot. His body have. He had another car wreck. I didn't think he was gonna really come back from that, man, but he did. So I don't know. I wanted to shout him out, man. Talk about him real quick, man. But unfortunately, guys, we got to end it there because we got one last thing that's coming up right now. We need to get into, man. And this personally hits home between me and DA. We know about this far too well. We heard about it numerous times throughout the country, man. Another high school shooting.
What grade is your son?
It happened at our alma
When you
mater.
get a phone call like this about your kid, what's your first reaction?
It just made me all. I'm just not. That's why I can't even talk to the news people right now because I'm all shaken up. I've already got one son gone. Now I got this my only son.
Are the police telling you anything? You got any word, anything?
No.
Well, we're sorry to hear this, man. We're definitely going to be praying for you guys.
Whatever we have it, man. I don't know, and I, another school shooting, man, across the country here, across the nation. And again, this hits home for me and Daryl here because I'm class of '85, he's class of '86, and we poured our as far as our been on that field, a basketball court or whatever, man. We poured our sweat, our blood, sweat, and equity into that school, man, as well as in the classroom. So this hits home personally for me and Daryl Alexander. And when I first heard this, man, I actually got a text from a good friend of ours, Tim, was Derek Ritchie. Reached out to me. I had no idea that this was taking place. Of course, I immediately started trying to figure out what had taken place, what was going on. I think we know by now that there was another young guy who brought a gun to school, shot another young student man in the leg. He said he will survive, but he is in custody. And I've been to the school on several occasions. If any, we did a show up there, guys. Y'all know the replay been up there. We did a whole show with the football, the varsity team. So we know they have metal detectors in front of the school. Some people saying perhaps this was an inside job or whatever, because how did they get, outside? But then I heard that they supposed to been out toward the football field. Maybe he went back to a vehicle car, got it out, and I don't know all the details. Maybe y'all heard a little bit more lately than myself. But again, I want to touch on this, man, because this is the culture part of what we do, and we're talking about the shooting, man, at a high school, my alma mater and Daryl's alma mater, Wilmer Hutch. But D, I'm gonna come to you first on this, man, because this is personal with you as well.
Yeah, I was actually packing to come your way when I heard it. And I was like, man, I mean, I wasn't shocked because it was our school, because I know the way society is, like, it doesn't matter. It can happen anywhere, White House, daycare center, mall, so gas station, convenience store. It's just the way of the world these days. I wasn't even surprised that somebody had gotten a gun in school. I'll guarantee you that more kids could get guns, sneak guns in school and classroom if they wanted to. I've seen how the morning ritual with the metal detector works. I think it's lax. After a certain amount of time, security gets laxed. If that's how he got the gun in, you can. It's ways to beat it. You don't. Maybe the beginning of the year, it's or after something happens, security is doing a little. They're going above and beyond, but after a while, you kind of let your guard down. That's human natures, and just the way society is, man. It's like everybody thinks they need a gun at all time. And why would you need a gun at school? I can't recall a time, man, back in the day where none of us thought we would need a gun at school.
Yeah, man.
Even if you thought you might have to fight or something that day, you wouldn't be thinking, man, I need to smuggle this gun in school. But that's just the way it is now. It's man, human beings have just gotten to where, I mean, it's the nature of the country. It was built on firearms and destruction and shooting and killing, and it's gone way past time, if you ask me. And then our governor says, okay, you don't need a license, you don't need anything to have a gun. So he might have violated school policy, but he was within his rights to have a gun, I think, if he was 18. But I just think it's just human beings just gotta. It's just somewhere along the way, man. We just blew it when it comes to these later generations, man. So that's my take on it.
Well, Tim, what you got for me, man?
Yeah, I'll say this
What you
about
think about this?
I'll say this one thing about the gun. You can't have a gun. School is a there is a code, and you can't have a gun near the school area and stuff like that.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
right there it's illegal, no matter where you are. So that's one. Two, when we get to where your pain is greater than your future, that you feel like your future is, right? Your pain is greater than your future. We do dumps like this. We do dumps just like this because you don't care about your future because your pain is so great. You're not thinking ahead. You're not thinking about even yourself. See, this ain't about the person he ended up hurting. It's about himself. He lacks the discipline that he needs in these situations. I just had a conversation with my son about emotional discipline, about having the discipline that you need actually to deal with situation in your own emotions. I talked to him about how to control his emotions and what he do. I gave him a little practice to do. And he knows it to this day. He will recite it for you if you ask him. He counts to 10, then he says his ABCs, then he counts to 10. Okay, then he gets control of his emotions. Then he can express himself once he has control of his emotions. Okay? And so then it gives you opportunity to think about what is best for you. So we also talking about, hey, you got to think about what's best, and then your idea of not harming or hurting anybody else because it hurts you. It hurts you before it hurts anybody else. Because the consequences are tied to our community. So when you kill or hurt somebody else, you not only do you hurt the community, you hurt yourself because now you're not a part of the community no more. Because now they got you in that new slavery. It ain't really new, but they got you in that slavery. They got you behind them bars in that slavery now.
Yeah.
Working for them, doing business. They want you there. And they want us there.
Right.
So we got to be better than this. And our parents got to keep having these conversations and locking into our kids. And we mentoring. I know we mentoring, but we need so many other people to mentor because we only have so much reach. I don't care how much reach we can go. We still won't have enough reach to reach the people, all the people who need it. So we need each of you that's out there, one who listening to us right now, those who are not listening right now, but you're going to listen to it later, to go out there, mentor our young men, our young women. Let them know that their lives matter and that it's important that actually they pay attention to themselves and love themselves so they don't hurt nobody else. Because you love yourself, what's going on. And whoever caused that, the same thing with that person too, who actually got in and got in a fight or whatever caused that drama to go on. We got to love each other better than this.
Yo, well, I want to send a big shout out to Josh Stevenson who joined us tonight, man. He says, God said that there will be a generation that don't know God. This is that generation. The Bible's fulfilling this stuff, and I do agree, man. I think the lack of knowledge and information, man, that's the reason why I say that my people suffer for the lack of knowledge, and I think that's what's happening now. There is no knowledge of substance that's really being presented other than an emotional response. And I am also reminded of scripture when it says that do not allow your impulse to become your God. And this is what's happening. A lot of people are going off of their impulse. They don't stop to take that 10 seconds out that Tim is teaching his child to do, to take that time out to reflect about what you're about to do. I was looking at, I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but I was looking at I think it happened, it was on Instagram. A judge was about to give this, the judge was a magistrate judge telling this young person, seemed to be about 19 or 21, about the nature of the crime that they had just committed. And when she said, she said, you have these rights. You have a right to remain silent, and so forth and so on. She said, because the nature of the crime which you committed was it deserved a warrant the death penalty. And the way she said it to him, this is a capital death penalty that you could possibly receive and a life sentence without parole. And when she mentioned that to him, man, he just killed over. He just killed over. Because and it told me, I said, see the stupidity? Because how long did it take you? That's the question I ask the young people. How long did it take you? And they'll look at you, what you mean, how long did it take me? How long did it take you to break in that woman's house? How long did it take you to shoot that dude? How long did it take you to rape that young lady? Because the minutes that it took you to do that probably was 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Now the repercussion says this. Once you're caught, and they're going to catch you at some point, because DNA and technology is on an all-time high now. When they do, here's what you're going to be facing. And if you get 40 years, 50 years, a life sentence, it only took you 20 minutes to do the crime itself. So this is the lack of knowledge that the scripture speaks about, man. And people have to be able to take the older generation, the elders, do the best they can. I understand, because some of these young people, man, um, they it seem like they just don't want anything, right? But then I also refute that because I work with some of the kids hands on. It's just that information, proper information, haven't seeped in, and I think we have to do a much better job explaining this information because we have to continue to check evil. You know, one of my favorite sayings, in order for evil to prevail, good people do nothing. So we have to continue to check the evil with good information and good knowledge. We got to still get off the sideline, man, get in the game, and then still go. See, I see this as an opportunity. I see this as an opportunity because soon as it happened, I said to myself, here's another opportunity for I Am Student Athlete, as well as some of the 501c3s that we do work with to go in and speak to the principal, say, hey, we got a mentoring opportunity here, man. I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to mentor these young people past whatever pain or whatever they see. May not can save them all, but we can save few. And my thing is that's where we need to start. We just can't give up. We just can't throw in the towel because why? The elders didn't give up on us. We may not have done everything that they do now, but the elders did not give up on us. So again, guys, this is something that I want to talk about briefly, man. I know we're coming up short on time, but I wanted to, talk about this shooting because it hit, close to home with myself. And like I say, Daryl, man, because we attended Women Hutchins and would have never thought, Daryl, like you just stated earlier, that we would have been thinking about bringing a gun to school to settle our issues. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, Tim, you want to last minute comments on this before we wrap up this evening's show?
I just want to say, man, that for all the families out there, we got to, whoever harmed and the kid that actually we know going to be all right, but still, I want to say bless all of those that we continue to actually pour into our community and help them lift each other and actually teach them the skills that we're talking about, the skills of actually controlling emotions. We need them both for our men and our women, but men, we know and we understand this as men. Men know this. I'm not talking about males. I'm talking about men. Men know that we have to teach our young people that it is time to control your emotion. To become a man, you have to control your emotion because this is how you set standards. This is how you set them. Everything you do, business, everything you do, sports, whatever it is, you got control of your emotions. You have a better situation. Everything becomes better. You're more prosperous. You achieve more goals, and you don't have as many setbacks when you do. Right? No matter what life brings you, you rise above those things when you control your emotions because you have a clear mind to see what you have to do going forward. So we got to keep pushing that, and we got to keep being a part of it.
Well, DA, I'm gonna come to you, man, and wrap this segment up here. The last 3 minutes on this. What you got?
Yeah, I think everything everybody said is a definite fact. I think one couple things that may be overlooked, and I was listening to a gentleman talk this morning, and he was talking about vibrational lobotomy. So he's basically saying we're underestimating the music, the culture, the way music is influencing our young people, and this is all the way from 1 years to 50. That like if it people underestimate what's pounding in your head daily is going to have a great effect on you and how you act. And the music that our kids like, they don't have many options if they want to listen to music of their generation. Most of it's going to be telling them shoot, kill, shoot him, bust him in the face. It's just that you combine that message with the vibration of the music, and it's just people don't know it's constantly pounding into your heart, your soul, your brain until you become part of that. You think that's you, even though that's not probably how you raised. And a lot of parents don't have the power that the music has. The music is one of the most powerful things on earth. And we subject our kids to constantly filling their brains with that. You can go anywhere where there's a group of kids. Your child, you may not even recognize your child if you saw them out in public. Because I tell people all the time, y'all have no idea what your kids are like. You know, some people do, but most people have no idea what their kids or pretend to be like or are really like when they're not around. And we gotta focus more on this music, man, because it's really detrimental that these kids get away from it, man, so we can clear their brains back out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with my man Josh. He's saying that you're a product of your environment. It's absolutely true. It also states that in the scriptures too regarding how Satan he works through the music. There's actually a verse on that in the scriptures, but like I said, it's not without substance. That's a whole nother thing that we can discuss in that, because we've actually had that on another different show. We talked about the influence of the music and how it has affected our young people. When you talk about hip hop, we're not talking about what it originally meant when hip hop first was created by Kool Herc and them back in the 70s and so forth. It was a dance thing. You don't even see rappers dancing anymore. You saw the Big Daddy Kane, the MC Hammers, etc., dancing and so forth. But now everybody want to be cool. They want to smoke this, do this, whatever. And it's so violent now. And within the last 20 years, you can't even say what have it truly positively produced outside of more and more kids going to prison.
No.
You know, women are very disrespectful, and then women have got sucked into this too, where they've lost their more decency. So there's more decadence on both sides of the equation. So there's a lot to talk about on that, man. I promise you. But we got to wrap this thing up, man. And before we do, man, we want to talk about. Well, we're not going to talk about this evening because we're running short on time. I want to give a big shout out, man, to the NBA playoffs. We're going to try to, talk about that with a lot to cover. But NBA playoffs are starting this weekend.
Oh yeah, start tomorrow.
Well, you got the play-in tomorrow.
The play-in starts tomorrow.
Okay, you won't count
the seven plays to 8.
I guess you a Laker fan.
9 plays to 10. I'm not. I just want to watch. There's some good teams down there. There's some good teams at the bottom.
It is.
Okay, I got you.
There are good teams at the bottom. In the West.
Well, you right.
In the West.
We're going to play out. Shout out to my Dallas Mavericks, man, who got the Clippers, man. And we're going to check out and see who come out of that play-in, man. So, again, we can't open up we'll talk about it hopefully this Thursday, man. We're back on and see where it's at. We got a lot to say about the NBA playoffs, man. I'm looking forward to Dallas Mavericks again, their matchup. But again, I want to thank everybody who joined us this evening on the replay where we try to make your day, man. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe, like the channel, man. Hit that notification button so you'll know what's going on. Again, guys, I appreciate my co-host, girl, Alexander the Great, as well as Tim Action Jackson. My brothers, man, came on. So another great episode, man. So again, make sure you all hit that subscribe, like, and share button. We are still trying to grow the channel, okay? So appreciate y'all, man. Stand with us and always keep God first, man. Peace and love.
Peace. I'm playing my guitar next.
Blessing, grateful, and